Just let me.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Nikki De Pina, and I'm with an organization called Global Peace Let's Talk. I'm having a problem with my system to be able to show you the presentation, so I'm just going to talk through it. You do have a copy that you can send out.
Okay.
So my role here, my attendance here is a little bit different. That I'm not talking about an actual project that's being implemented. What I'm sharing is the fact that all of you that are busy doing work are just so incredible and phenomenal people. And it is your contribution that is supporting peace throughout this world. And that is what I'm sharing. Oh, thank you. There we go. Thank you so much. You are just
okay.
Yeah. There we go.
Just a minute. Just a
Thank
minute.
you.
Just a minute. Somebody.
Yeah, thank you. So, okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so we start at the beginning. My presentation. You can all hear me?
ওটা তুমি লিখে দিও
প্লিজ
হ্যাঁ পরে তাড়াহুড়ো তুমি পোস্ট করতে পারো আর একটা বলছো
Hello?
Yeah, please start. Pina, please. Please.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was saying that my presentation is you cannot teach a man to fish without providing the net and the rod. And unfortunately, that's what happens. We have a lot of people in the communities that are working to try and ease the poverty in that environment, but they don't have the tools to do that. They don't have the net. So many of them would like to do far more, but they need support globally to be able to provide them with the tools to be able to do that work that they're doing. I'm sharing with you that currently I'm supporting a group that are in a Nakavali refugee camp. What you can imagine, a refugee camp is different, very, very difficult situation. So they have the land, they do have the land, but they have no equipment to be able to farm that land, to be able to turn that ground so they can plant seeds and make things work. And that is why I'm saying you cannot teach a man to fish without providing the net. We have to find a way to be able to support the people that want to make a difference and find a way to provide them with the tools so they're able to then do farming or some other project that will be able to lift that community out of poverty. Okay, there we go, next slide.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just a little bit of background on myself, that I'm very focused on people that are making a difference in this world. That's what Global Peace Let's Talk is all about, to recognize those people that are working and so determined to not see people in their community suffer and have nothing to eat. I was working with, I'm going to share this with you. I was working with one young man. There was no income. He managed to buy a loaf of bread for that evening. Now, I'll try to understand that you have this group of children that you're taking care of, but you only have one slice of bread that you're going to share out among them. How is that possible? How are you going to feed those children? So the work that you are doing, that you are busy with, Dr. Jayanta, is just so appreciated because you're allowing people to share projects that can be implemented and that can make a difference and support those leaders in communities that are taking care of children and others in that community. So thank you very much for this opportunity to share. Okay, the next slide. I said, what kind of net can teach a man to fish? Firstly, respect. Just because people are poor, it does not mean that they don't deserve the term of respect and honor for just being human. I need people to understand that people that are living in poverty situations, they also matter. They really do. They matter. They've got families themselves. They're trying to do their best. Then I've added resources. They desperately need resources. They need training. A lot of them don't have specific skills in able to do farming, for example. And then they need the tools so that they can put the whole thing together and then be able to end the poverty in their communities. Thank you. The next slide. And then I've said this, which is just so important, that it matters, the power of love, which to me is respect for every human being, no matter that that person may be extremely poor. They deserve that respect. There are three things that make life turn around, and it's grace and courage and service to others. And I'm sharing with all of you in this group today. Listening to your presentations, I'm sharing my respect for you. Really, I am. What you are doing to support your communities is just beyond such a strength and value of courage. Thank you so very much. The next slide. And then I've added a section about farming and the importance of farming. And there's so many different ways to do farming. So it's just of such incredible value. Okay, we can go through the other slide. How are we going to use the land that's available? And then I'm sharing with you this little picture of that tiny little seed. I mean, you can hold it between your fingers, it's just so tiny. But once that seed grows, you all know, because this is your work, how that one little seed can grow into a plant that can feed how many people. It's incredible. It's just beyond amazing. So if you work in very poor areas, they don't have access to seeds. Many of the people that I'm working with are asking for donations of seeds so they can plant them. Okay, next slide. And there's a little plant. From that little seed, and that plant grows. And that plant will then be full of something. Okay, we can go through. Up. Next one. There you go. What are the challenges I've said? And I know you've been all talking about this through your presentations yesterday, is availability of land, and then the youth and the input that the youth can give, help the youth with the relevant skills. Again, training is more important. Find a way to provide tools that are needed so that they can use them. One of the biggest problems the world is sitting with is the conflict going on in the world and politics. And that makes it very difficult for a lot of people. And again, I'm saying that all of you on this platform are managing to look far beyond that with the work you are doing. It's incredible. Next slide. And Yuri, some of the people that I'm working with have shared with me on the little strip of land that they've got, that it's shared, the community shares it. But there isn't enough land for an individual, but there's enough land for a community project. to have a section where they can plant vegetables and share them. Okay, next slide. And then creative thoughts, I've said, whoops. Just give me 1 second, I'm just trying to go through here. My thoughts are that we need to create a passion for farming in schools. Children need to have a love of what they can do. The ability to take the youth off the streets and train them in environmental guardianship and agriculture. We need to find globally support for this to happen. And then the work on projects to remove the stigma of farm workers being used and abused. I cannot understand why people that work on farms don't receive what is due to them, the respect for the work they are doing. I think we have to focus a little bit and say to those people how much value they add to end poverty. And next one. So what I'm sharing is we need to find more support for agriculture schools. I'd like to see support for peace schools in very complicated areas. I think peace schools can teach people additional to what education is all about. I'd like to see far more support for youth development. I think we need to look at permaculture and horticulture. We need to support health and hygiene training. We need to support environmental projects. And then I'd also like to see focus on street children. It's incredibly sad. I travel to Africa and I go to countries and I see these children all over the street that are just so lost. And I cannot understand why those children are not put on farms so that they can at least add some value and earn their self-respect. So street children need to be educated. And because the end to poverty has such a high value, we should put them onto farms to work. And then I'm adding to bring back a love of a trade. You will know that the world today is focused on a lot of things. And a lot of people are saying that a qualified trade doesn't matter. Of course it matters because you need that skill. You need that skill to be able to work on projects that can end poverty. The next slide. And here is a photo of this young woman that lives far away in the DR Congo. And this young woman had no education at all. She was really struggling. And what happened is that she was then put on
Hello.
was put on a, hello? Sorry, I can't hear that.
Carry on. Carry
Can
on.
you all still hear me? Okay, so she was put on a course to be able to learn a trade, and with that trade, she was able to make items, and that helped to end her level and her family to take them out of poverty. So we need to keep encouraging skills. That's the most important thing to end poverty. And then I want to end with this for you. I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be able to share with all of you, first of all. And I'd like to end with the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, who said, I have a dream. And listening to all of you yesterday and today, I can hear your dream. I think you are all incredible. Really, I do. So thank you. Your questions?